Hey guys, how y'all doing? This is OV Transport Guy coming to you real quick. So something very interesting. I wanted to do a second part of Two's Better Than One, dealing with obviously the cell phones. Uh, in this case, just in terms of another reason why having, two items or more is better for you as an entrepreneur. In this case, if driving, especially. So this is going to be dedicated to the drivers. So you know you want to consider something when doing this. Let's just say you have an emergency situation, and this is one of those things that very well could happen if you're doing any type of ride share, courier work, whatever that looks like, where you have disgruntled other drivers for whatever reason. They're not having a real good day. Maybe you got in front of them when that's not what they want. They're trying to get by and get ahead of you. If you're in traffic, especially something like a Houston, a lot of people that's driving want all the concrete they can handle. You know what I'm saying? And what's so funny about it, you'll see them cut you off, drive around you. And the funny thing about it, a lot of times they can't go any further than you can. As a matter of fact, it's been funny. They'll get in front of you, whip around and stuff like that. And then you go over to another lane and then they're stuck. So it's like, okay, dude, that looks really bad, But you have those type of people. But you do have cases where you have disgruntled people who, for whatever reason, are already on a breaking point anyway. And by them being on a breaking point, they're already loose cannon. So it's just a matter of when they're going to go off on somebody, And so you might be that person. You may have not done anything. You may have accidentally tapped their car and they just took it to the extremes. They may have thought you cut them off, or they may have thought you flipped them off, stuff like that. So you have to consider the possibilities that, that's what you may run across. So when that happens, what do you do? Well, just kind of illustrate it, and I've mentioned this before, and in video that you're looking at, included in this. You want to call the police. But what happens if you call and your phone all of a sudden dies? What happens if you can't get a signal? You know what I'm saying? What happens if you got to pull over to a gas station somewhere? If you can. You know what I'm saying? You may be in a situation where there may not be a gas station. You know what I'm saying? You're too far from home. You call one of your loved ones, they're not close by. You have all these scenarios. And I would submit to you, having another phone that's charged up already, possibly another carrier, maybe, or Android or Apple, just depending, because one may work in one area, while the other one can't. You know what I'm saying? Now, typically, when you're calling 911, you can get through because that's an emergency line. But again, what if your phone dies in mid-conversation or whatever? So this is just something just to consider, because it very well could happen, or you could be looking out the well-being of somebody else, and maybe they need a phone or something. So now you're rendering humanitarian aid, you know what I'm saying, in the event that something like this does happen. But here's the thing that you want to consider doing, also, yes, having your phones, but just as an addition, pull into a public place, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you won't be nearby a police station, more than likely, unless you happen to see one across the street, otherwise, public place. And these are just suggestions, but the one thing you want to do, if you're in a situation, make that call, you know what I'm saying? there was a friend of mine a long time ago that ran into a situation like that where there was a guy that followed him home, and the guy should have not led him to his house. First of all, mistake number one, because now the guy knows where he lives at, and he got out the vehicle, fussing at the guy fussing at him. Turns out the guy is a vet, but he's also PTSD, post-traumatic syndrome, post-traumatic trauma syndrome, something of that nature. Anyway, it's bad. And the guy started beating up on a friend of mine. Well, the guy's father came out of the house and ended up shooting the guy. And even though the guy was right, and yes, he was able to get freed from that, the case was ended, but it took, almost 2 years? And there were some mistakes that was made there for one. And the biggest one was, the issue was, hey, you should have not went home. The second part of, you have a weapon, or your father had a weapon, it looks like it was premeditated. You talked to your folks, you should have called the police. So my advice to you guys, and I'm saying this, and obviously, I carry a firearm myself, concealed license. But in giving it a situation like that, I can't just use this weapon just because somebody's following me. You know what I'm saying? I need to do everything I can to keep that from happening. And if I have to do that, I have to make sure I am 100% justified, because the law will, so to speak, crucify my butt. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how come you didn't call law enforcement? Could you have went by a place that was busy? There's all types of scenarios, and ideally, that's not something that you can win unless you are in danger of your life. There's no way out of it. You got to look at all that stuff. So what I would do simply is record. On that note, the biggest thing that you want to make sure you do too, recording devices. I stress this strongly. And again, I have several recording devices. I have one right here in my front. Let you guys see that so you can see for yourself. This device right here. And you may not be able to see in the back all the way, but that's another recording device that's outside the back window and inside the cabin. So yeah, you have to consider and make sure, and that's 2 cameras that I have. That doesn't even include my 2 cell phones. So, and one obviously, either or, I'm going to use it. So altogether, I'm going to have double the backup. Sorry about that, but so you got to be sure. Hold on. Oh, sorry about that. A little momentary distraction. I'm in the parking lot talking, right? And I have people coming up. So it's all good. I thought I was in a little situation like that because the guy just pulled out. So, it would have been funny. He done went off on me. Oh, you too close, buddy. Thank God that didn't happen, right? But anyway, the point being is this. I make sure if I'm on a road or in a place where I know a potential there could be an issue, that I'm going to have something proof in case I get in a situation. So for me, I got double the cameras plus my phone, and by all means, like you guys see some of my videos where I do interesting things that happen at night. Another part of OV transport guy, right? Well, there's stuff that happens is interesting, but I also put it up in the event that this person's gonna go off on them too. And I've had a few of those, weirdos, or one particular lady that's cussed me out. Hey, you know what? Hey, that camera popping on, and I'm gonna make sure it comes from my cell phone. And if it get too bad, I'm gonna put it on live too, so the whole world can see you. Anybody that steps in this vehicle, they're gonna know right off the back this guy is recording. You know what I'm saying? So, again, recording devices more than one indefinitely, especially your cell phones. And you may say to yourself, well, man, that's a little expensive. I can't afford that. You got one cell phone. If you're any type of businessman, you got one cell phone, right? Of course you do. Okay, get your track phone. Get your track phone. Disposable, whether they $99, you pay for X amount of minutes. That could be your backup phone. Those have cameras on them. So, there you go. And, just work that system where you know how. And you may not have to use it, but only so many times. Use that to somebody to call or talk to. There are ways around. This is just simply a safety measure. So, guys, let's just, more importantly, I only put this out there just for safety concerns. So just be sure you guys do that. Take care of yourself. Other than that, OB Transport Guy, I'm signing off. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.